Thank you, Indan. And as I said earlier, he knows how to make it happen, all these big dreams. Is there anybody with a short question before we are moving forward?
Sorry, I'm here.
Okay, so we are a little bit late, so we'll rush. We'll have a coffee break, and I'm sure you can reach him. So we want to move to the next lecture by Professor Uri Ashery, that is investigating the mechanism of synaptic plasticity in the health and disease. Is actually one of the main driving force, together with Sami Sagol, which is here also, for the establishment of the Sagol School of Neuro. In the last year, he led the development of the curriculum, of the interdisciplinary curriculum in neuroscience from a first degree, as I said earlier, to the PhD level. And we hope really that the Sagol School and what we build up with this curriculum, neuro curriculum, could join and help in initiating the curriculum of the human brain. Uri, please.
Thank you. Hi, good morning everybody, and thank you for coming. I'm really happy to have the possibility both to host and organize the meeting together with Alice and Mira. And I want to add to some of the things that Alice said before. I think that one of the main reasons to having this is really to try to create a new curriculum, and you, the students who are sitting here, are I think the main driving force tomorrow for questions, for discussion. So we hope that you'll be active, since based on what you're saying, you're going to teach the student in 10 years. So you have to think seriously in what we are discussing. And I think this is, in a way, how the Sagol School was created, a lot of interaction with the student, and it's dynamically changing throughout the years. From where we started a couple of years ago until now, we have changed a lot, the curriculum, and we are still changing it. And I think this is the idea of the whole field, which is constantly changing. So what I'm going to do in the next 15 minutes is to tell you a little bit about the Sagol School, mainly for the guest work who have come. And we already heard that since neuroscience is a multidisciplinary field, and you need people from medicine, from exact science, from engineering, from psychology, from humanity, from life science, and even from management in order to understand the brain. Tel Aviv University have decided a couple of years ago to establish the Sagol School of Neuroscience. And although it's only 3 years old, we already have a full educational program from bachelor through master, PhD, and postdoc program. And I will mention some of the programs today, and we can discuss them more tomorrow. And these students then can enroll and do research in 100 labs who are doing neuroscience research, and these labs are coming from 7 different faculties, the one that I mentioned before, and together with 17 affiliated hospitals. So this really allows us to make really inter- and transdisciplinary research from the RNA level up to cognitions and decision making. Sagol School of Neuroscience is also a partner with the ENC, European Neuroscience Campus Network, and hopefully together with the Neurasmus in the future, and this allows students to have more mobility, and also will allow students to come to Tel Aviv. And our 2 missions are, one educational level is really to train new generation of leadership in neuroscience, and we'll come back to that later. And the second one is research-wise, and this is to develop interdisciplinary research in brain science between the different faculties, between the different institutes, for example, the Human Brain Project, and together with the industry, which I will also mention. So let me briefly go on and elaborate on the education and the research direction. So Tel Aviv University has opened and is now offering 4 different undergraduate programs in neuroscience. And the idea is that there are so many disciplines And if you want to learn neuroscience, you cannot learn everything since the level of understanding will be really low. And we think that the best way to do it at the moment at least, and we'll be happy to discuss it tomorrow, is really to concentrate on 2 disciplines and on top of that to have neuroscience. And as such, we opened 4 programs. One is the classical one, biology and psychology, which is already running for 11 years or 12 years in Israel, in Tel Aviv and many places in the world. Last year we opened a new program in biology and linguistics, which gives a possibility for students interested in understanding how to create language, what's wrong in dyslexic, with dyslexic people, which area of the brain are responsible for speaking. So this is this program. 2 new programs that we opened last year and are very successful. One is psychology and computer science, and these programs give the students who are interested in cognitive neuroscience, behavioral neuroscience, tools from the computer science and mathematics in order to understand their signals, for example, from EEG or MRI. And another program which is very successful is biology and biomedical engineer, which gives the student who are interested to understand biological mechanism and having engineer and mathematical tools coming from engineer from computer science. These programs are really taking the best student in campus, the second one after the one coming to medical student. And we have next year we are anticipating to have altogether 300 students in these 4 groups, 4 programs in 3 years. And when these students finish their program, they continue to several interdisciplinary master and PhD program. The first one is the master program in neuroscience, which we opened last year. And the second one, which is running already for 5 years, is the interdisciplinary doctoral program in neuroscience for outstanding students. And the idea of these two programs that the student, throughout this 2 years for master and 4 to 5 years of PhD, can do rotations in several labs. And we are trying to build the best PhD thesis for the student, in some cases by trying to allow them or to suggest to them labs from different directions, and then they combine 2 mentors and have 2 mentors or 3 mentors for the rest of their PhD. And I think this brings both the mentors and the discipline together. We also opened the PhD postdoc program and a new program with industry academy oriented, and I'll discuss it, I'll mention it today, and we'll discuss it more tomorrow. Now, when these students are looking for a lab to join, the nice thing, which was already mentioned, is that Tel Aviv University has a wide variety of labs from different disciplines. It's hard to see the names here, but they are just divided into the different fields. But the main ones in Tel Aviv are the neurology and psychiatry, computational neuroscience, molecular cellular neuroscience, brain imaging from structure and function, cognitive neuroscience, decision making, brain disorder, and drug discovery. So the students really have where to go. And only in the last, in 2011, 2013, Sagol School and Tel Aviv University have recruited 10 new members to being a principal investigator. And these members are now staying in 5 different faculties, for example, life science, linguistics, medicine, psychology, engineering, and management. So it really gives the full variety of neuroscience in campus. So Tel Aviv is leading in several directions. I think one of the main ones is translational neuroscience, and this is together with 17 affiliated hospitals, which we have a tight collaboration, both from basic science up to translational neuroscience. Imaging is also a very strong field in Tel Aviv, from single molecule to single neuron imaging, up to brain imaging. We have both MRI for small animals and for big animals, and I guess Yaniv Asaf will elaborate on that in his talk, somewhere here. And I don't want to take the surprise from his talk. Cellular molecular neuroscience is also very strong, trying to understand the basic mechanism of brain function and dysfunction. And behavioral neuroscience is strong from people coming from both theology and from psychology. So we have all the directions. As I mentioned, translational neuroscience is quite strong, and there is no, I think, single brain disorders that is not investigated in Tel Aviv University, starting from Alzheimer, when we have today another meeting of Alzheimer's Disease Association, who is hosting 100 people just in the corner. We'll have lunch together. And there are 12 groups in Tel Aviv who are investigating Alzheimer's, schizophrenia, stroke, Huntington disease, ADHD, you just name it, and this goes from basic to translational neuroscience. And this already brought to several development of state-of-the-art technology in brain science, starting from the circadin, which is a drug for incinoma developed by Professor Nava Zisapel together with Neurim Pharmaceutic, and this is now being sold by Teva. Professor Danny Offen and Dad Melamed are developing stem cell therapy for ALS, and this is now in clinical phase 2A, and I think even advanced, together with Brainstorm. And Danny Offen is going to be here tomorrow to discuss the way he sees how you take basic neuroscience and moving it from the lab to the industry. Many other researchers in the school, for example, Professor El Khanin, who is coming from electrical engineer, is working together with NanoRetina to develop a retinal implant neurochip to combat blindness. And the list is long by other researchers like Professor Solomon, who are working to develop novel agent against Alzheimer's disease. Again, a cell therapy using stem cells by Miguel Val, and Professor Ilana Gozes working to develop different peptides to combat schizophrenia. So these are the large number of groups working in these fields. And what we have thought to do in order to accelerate and in order to make it more structured is to open a new initiative in Tel Aviv University, which we call Brain Boost. And Brain Boost is an industry academy applicative project in brain technology and research. And the idea is to take together projects from the academy and the industry, make them applicative through a special track, which is called Brain Boost. And the idea is to develop drug, device, algorithm in order to combat brain disorders. The way we do it is we have two pathways. One are projects that start in the academy and later on industry join. And some of the projects, we sit together with the industry, discuss the different projects, and try to push it forward. And the nice thing is that only at the moment in Israel, there are about 15 or 20 small and big companies who are investigating brain disorders, starting from the big ones like Teva and IBM, that we'll have here tomorrow some representative, and going down to the small ones like Brainstorm, which I mentioned, Alpha Omega, and many others who are trying to develop either algorithm-based device or drugs in order to combat brain disorders. And I will elaborate tomorrow a little bit more about the way we try to combine the work of the industry and the academy. So if I summarize what we see as Sagol School as a hub for the student, which allows them both a very diverse academic program, diverse research lab that they can choose from different laboratories, linked to the industry through Brainstorm, linked to International Institute by the Human Brain Project and several other collaborations which we are now building with the different institutes around the world, and also linked to the educational part together with the Human Brain Project, trying to create a more uniform maybe or diverse, we'll discuss it tomorrow, educational program for in neuroscience. And with that, I would like to stop and wish you all a great workshop. Maybe one or two administrative aspects. We'll have now coffee break.
15 minutes.
I think we'll do it 20, so they have enough time. We can shorten the lunch. And lunch we'll have down in the entrance to the Lola and Dolphy, together with the Alzheimer's disease meeting. And as soon as we finish eating, we are coming back to the posters. And there are, I think, 10 posters by students that are going to be shown during lunch break. So enjoy the meeting, and yeah, thank you.